Hey guys, this is Daniel back again. Just wanted to show you guys a quick, not really a tutorial, but kind of following how I do things. I just did a video on how to do normal mapping, otherwise known as bump mapping, and I thought I'd show you how I'm going to do it on this game here, this little level I made. As you can see, the rocks don't look right. For one thing, the textures are a little bit misaligned, and that's not a tiling issue, that's just the way I set it up is wrong. So anyways, what I thought I'd do is show you guys how I go about making a normal map for a texture like this when you don't have a high-res mesh to go off of. And yeah, so you guys can kind of follow along. So the first thing I do, make a new level or a new scene, and I get rid of all the lights, everything, just make it nice and simple. Go ahead and add a new plane, and then add a camera. Okay, move the camera up. I usually just move it up a little ways. It doesn't really matter where it's at. Now what we're going to do is in your scene, we're going to change, there we go. I'm going to change their final render size. Usually you're going to want to do it the same size as your original texture, just because it keeps it, pixel per pixel is the same, which is good. Go ahead and put this up to 100%. For the camera, choose orthographic, so it's not 3D, it's just doing basically perspective drawing. Not perspective, sorry, just normal from the front, essentially. And change the scale until you get it about where you want it, and then kind of look and see, okay, we're probably going to be around 2. Yep, there we are. And then one thing I do to check, turn the horizon color to like a bright red. Take a quick render, and just see, are we getting any red around the edges? Okay, we are, just a little bit. So what we need to do is just scale this up just a bit. There we go, let's give that a shot. Whoa, we got one in the middle. That's an odd way to have it. Let's try this again real quick. There we go. Scale it out just a little bit. There we are. Okay, so no red around the edges. That's good. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and import our image as a background. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, it's just over here in your sidebar under background images, add, search for your image. Now I don't totally remember where this is at, so it might take me a second to find it. I know where the file is at, but I don't know if it's actually there or not. Come on, where are we at? Blender, there we go. Okay, so it's actually probably inside one of the blend files then. Here we go. Oh, come on now. Here we go. Alright, stonewall.png. Go ahead and open that. There we go, and it's just linked in, so it's the same file there. Alright, now you've noticed we've got that. If we go to the top view, we're just going to want to scale that down. I'm going to go ahead and hide the camera. Just scale this down until it fits there. Alternatively, you could also just scale the other piece up, but normally the size is set to 5, just set it to 1. Now, you could go through and do hand model all this. In some meshes, it's easier to do that, but because this one is very obvious, the dark areas are farther down, the light areas are higher up. Excuse me. There's a nice little trick we can use. The first trick is just go ahead and subdivide this a bunch of times. Okay, we're gonna, at this point, you can make it as high quality as you possibly want, because the higher the quality is, the better at this point. There we go. That should probably be enough. And go ahead and add a material onto it and just call this one blah. This is all kind of pointless stuff that doesn't really matter at this point. Add a new texture. Call this one holder, because we don't really need it. It's just kind of a holding spot for now. Go ahead and load in that image. And we're going to put it to UV projection. And then go ahead in your mesh itself. Oh, my computer's having a hard time here. In the mesh itself, U, and then project from view, bounds, and that'll just make sure that it's flat on there, which is good. If we go into textured mode, my computer's having a hard time keeping up. I'm going to switch it to GLSL under display, just so I can see how it's working. I'm going to add a point light. There we go, so there's our texture. Good. There we go. Alright, like I said, it's having a hard time keeping up because it's so many points. Alright, so now in here, we're going to hit tab just to get into our edit mode. And then when you hit W, we're going to find noise. Oh, I don't see it. Okay, look over and press T to open this up. There should be one here. It is noise. And I like to do it from the side view just so I can see how far up it's going. And when you hit noise, let me show you what it does real quick. It makes noise based on the image, okay? So you can see here how it's not really doing what we want exactly. But from the top, you can definitely see how there is a pattern, and you can kind of make out where the bricks are, okay? And for most cases, if we hit smooth there, for most cases, this will do plenty well enough for what we want, okay? I'm going to go ahead and hit noise one more time. And this is something where I've got multiple points per pixel at this point, this far along, and you can see how in wireframe mode is that way too. Okay. Now we've got all that done. There's really only a couple things left to do. And actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to undo those two, and I'm going to actually unsubdivide it a couple times. Here we go. Come on. It's just taking a while for it to think through everything here. There we go. Okay, so that's unsubdivided once, and there's twice. So and it's kind of one of those things where you may or may not want to do that, but I think for what I'm wanting, it's going to give me a better look. There we go, and that's really about all we're going to need. Now let's create another plane, because as I talked about in the other one, it's looking at the difference of the two, so it's comparing the two against each other. Okay, we're going to create a new. Yeah, here we go. Going to. Ooh, where is it? Here we go. UV editor editing. We're going to create a new texture. Make it 512 by 512. Call it. In this case, we're going to call it stone underscore norm. Okay, and blank is fine for now. Take our low quality mesh project from view bounds. Oh, come on, there we go. Okay, nothing too fancy here yet. And then just like I showed in the other tutorial, and if you're behind here, just feel free to go back and check it out whenever. I'm gonna split this so it's a little easier. There we go. Now, just like I showed before, we're gonna do selected to active, and then go to normals and hit bake. Give it a second to run through everything, and there we go. We have our finished normal map. Okay. The last step to do here is to tell it to save as an image. And when we get to here, it should ask us, here we go, what format we want to put it under. I usually just do PNG. Some people like TIFF or whatever the different. It's really up to you. I don't care one way or the other. Here we go. And we're just going to call it stone-normal.png. All right. Now, if we want to test it out, I would put that to a separate layer over here. And really, having the camera up like this doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want as far as the camera is concerned. If you want to move it somewhere else or do whatever, that's totally fine. Then to test it out, we're just going to add a new material. We're just going to call it stone, just so it's the same kind of thing. I would put the specular maybe 0.5 for now, hardness. For now, just leave it at 50, I guess. Then we're going to add two textures here. One is for the normal, and one is for the color. I put the color, I call it COL, just so that I know what it is. And of course, in a larger scene, you'd want to give it a unique name. So we'll do stone-COL for color. UV, map it to the color. Image we're going to use is the stone wall. Okay, so now you can see this is exactly like how we have it on the game. It looks flat. Now we're going to add a second texture. Call this one stone-nor or norm. I usually do it norm, so I know what it is. Also image or texture, stone norm. And you can see how they actually overlay, and it kind of looks like it pops up when you put it on there as an optical illusion originally. Under image sampling, normal map tangent. Influence, turn off color, turn on normal. There we go. So now we've got some texture to it. Okay. And I would suggest just tweaking around with the settings, seeing what you think works the best for the material, and then just using that when it comes time. So for instance, for me, I think I would use less specular, maybe no specular, maybe just a little bit. And I'd probably turn this hardness up. Maybe even change the type of hardness. And so you gotta be careful not to make it look wet, of course, because that kind of defeats the purpose. Unless that is your purpose. Let's go. There we go. That gives it a nice look. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, so we're just gonna do that, and I usually save these, usually in a new folder. Maybe call it something like dev for development, just to keep things simple, and then call it stone.blend. Nothing too fancy. Then we can go back into our main level here, and partially just because of time, this is going to be a little bit crude. I mean, as you saw, what we had for the level really, or for the texture map, really wasn't all that great. I mean, in reality, I think I'd want to go back and redo some of that, but that's okay. So let's back to default here, and let's kind of get a good view of it. There we go. We'll just stick right here. Okay, let's look at our wall texture. We're going to change some things here. So wall, we're going to change to wall dash color. Oh, hello. And then for the second one here, we're going to call it wall dash norm. Choose image map, and then open the image here, stone normal, and we're going to do normal map, and then something's not quite right here. Where is our, oh, here we go, image mapping. Nope, that's not right. Oh, mapping, there we go. I feel silly. Okay, to UV, and you can actually see through some of the lines where some of our faults are, and where I need to go and redo some of it. And then all we're going to do is go under influence, turn off color, and turn on normal. There we go, and you can see it kind of pop out there a little bit. Alrighty, and then for the last bit here, we can change some of this. And just to make it clear for all of you at home, I'm going to go ahead and turn it so that it's almost wet looking, and that'll just help turn up the intensity there, and that'll help you guys kind of see it a little more, a little better. There we go. Let's give that a shot now. We turn on the game, and you can see, although it looks wet, it definitely looks better. Now, of course, in reality, I'm going to want to go back and change that and really model out what it looks like. But as a filler for now, I think that looks plenty good enough. Gives it a much better look. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to comment, subscribe, leave a message, whatever you want to do. Bye.